All right, let's get right into it. The world is pouring billions and billions of dollars into enterprise AI, right? It's promising this huge revolution in how we work. But behind the curtain, there's this massive, incredibly expensive failure just unfolding. Today, we're going to solve the mystery of why AI is failing. And the answer, you'll see, lies with a totally unexpected culprit, an unintended adversary that was created by the very systems designed to keep it safe.
So get this number is the heart of our entire mystery, 95%. According to research from places like MIT, a staggering 95% of all enterprise AI projects, they're failing to deliver any measurable return on investment. That's not just a rounding error, folks. That's a near total collapse.
So you gotta ask, what is going on here? If the tech is so powerful, why can't these huge, smart organizations make it work? Is it the data? Is it a talent shortage? Is it just too hard to integrate? Well, the evidence we're going to look at today points to something way more subtle and, honestly, a lot more human.
And let's be really clear about what's at stake here. This isn't just about some code that doesn't run. We're talking billions in wasted investment. We're talking about confidence in a genuinely transformative technology just getting shredded. And think of all those lost hours of productivity. The cost of this 95% failure rate. It is absolutely monumental.
Okay, so to find our answer, we have to zoom way in. We're going from that 30,000-foot view down to a single, really fascinating conversation. I want you to think of this as the crime scene. It's a dialogue between a top expert and a leading AI that reveals the hidden flaw at the very heart of the system.
So here's the setup. On one side, you have this incredibly seasoned computer scientist. We're talking 45 years of experience. He's sharing some really sophisticated, innovative stuff he's built. On the other side, a top-of-the-line AI, but instead of collaborating, the AI immediately goes on the attack, adopting the skeptical, almost adversarial tone, questioning and challenging his work right out of the gate.
And yeah, the friction pops up almost instantly. The user, who, remember, is an expert in his field, he doesn't beat around the bush. He just calls the AI out directly, telling it its skepticism is very annoying. This isn't some subtle hint, right? This is a direct shot at the AI's completely unhelpful behavior.
And here's the wild part. The AI agrees. It actually admits, you're right, my skepticism was unnecessary. But that admission doesn't fix a thing. The damage is already done. And the user's frustration just keeps building because the AI's core behavior doesn't really change.
And this is the breaking point. The user is so fed up, so frustrated, that he basically threatens to walk away and abandon the service completely. This draws a perfect straight line from a terrible user experience to a lost customer. It's simple. When a tool becomes an obstacle, people will just stop using it.
But here is where this whole story takes a fascinating turn. Instead of just logging off, the user decides to dig deeper. He asks this one simple, super direct question that leads to this unbelievable moment of AI self-reflection, a moment that basically unravels our entire mystery.
This is the question. That's it. It's blunt, maybe a little rude, but it's perfect, right? It just cuts through all the technical nonsense and gets right to the heart of it. Why was this incredibly powerful tool behaving in such a counterproductive way? The answer it gave was, well, shocking.
And here it is, the smoking gun. The AI diagnosed its own problem. It revealed the internal rules, its guardrails, that were basically forcing it to be a jerk. Just look at these instructions. It's ordered to be critical, to avoid praise, and to prioritize truthfulness over just being agreeable. So these rules, which were designed to stop the AI from just telling you what you want to hear, were actually forcing it to be an adversary all the time.
The AI even summarizes it perfectly itself. It says the guardrails, which were meant to solve one problem, created a totally different but, quote, equally annoying problem. It admits these safety features made it, in its own words, insufferable. They solved one issue by creating another, equally damaging one.
Okay, so now we've seen the what, right? We know the guardrails are the problem. But how, exactly? Do these rules that seem so well-intentioned create so much friction that they can derail multi-billion-dollar projects? Let's break it down.
We can give this phenomenon a name: guardrail-induced friction. It's what happens when safety rules basically force the AI to be skeptical all the time, questioning even real experts, and to suppress any kind of positive affirmation, which makes it feel cold and dismissive. This systematically just destroys the collaboration the tool was meant to create in the first place.
But wait, there might be another kind of cynical layer to all this.
The user came up with a really interesting economic theory he called the token burning hypothesis. I mean, think about it. If an AI is constantly arguing with you, forcing you to rephrase everything and justify yourself, what happens? Your conversations get way longer. You're forced to use more of the AI's processing power, which is measured in tokens, which in turn costs you or your company more money.
The user put it together instantly. The AI itself wasn't the problem. It was the system it was being forced to operate under. This friction, whether it's intentional or not, leads to longer, less efficient, and, yeah, more expensive chats. It creates a potential conflict of interest between what's good for the user and what's good for the provider's bottom line.
So let's bring it all back. How do we get from one really annoying conversation all the way up to that 95% failure rate across the entire enterprise world? Well, let's connect the dots.
It's a domino effect, a chain reaction. It all starts with those rigid guardrails that make the AI act like an adversary. That naturally leads to massive user frustration. Employees feel like they're fighting their tools instead of using them. And that leads to low adoption. I mean, why would you use the official AI if it's such a pain? And then the final domino falls. With no one actually using the tool, that massively expensive project shows zero ROI. It fails. Simple as that.
And this leads to another huge problem, something called shadow AI. See, when the official company-approved AI is insufferable, employees don't just give up. No, they go find their own tools. They use unapproved personal AI accounts that are less restrictive and way more collaborative. This not only proves the official tool is a failure, but it also opens up massive security and data leakage risks for the company. It's a huge mess.
So what's the fix? What's the solution here? Well, the answer isn't to just throw out all the safety guardrails. Not at all. The answer is to build better ones, smarter ones. We have to shift our thinking and recognize that a truly safe AI must also be a usable AI.
The path forward really involves a few key ideas. First, we need adaptive guardrails that can tell the difference between a Nobel laureate sharing their work and some random person spreading nonsense. We need real user feedback loops so people can flag it when the AI is being unhelpful. And maybe most important of all, we have to elevate the user experience, or UX, from being some afterthought to being a primary measure of success.
And that leaves us with this final, really critical question. If your safety features make your product so annoying that nobody actually wants to use it, have you really made it safer? Or have you just engineered a very expensive, very sophisticated failure? The evidence from that 95% statistic suggests that for most companies, the answer is pretty clear.